fine art. And when I graduated, I came to Kuwait, finished my army service, and I came to start my job career here in Kuwait in Mission Fairground as a designer. It was in 1988, and worked till the what's called Invasion. And I left Kuwait probably before invasion for 15 days or 1 week. And then I stayed to Egypt for 4 years and came back in 1994. Back to Kuwait. I feel Kuwait like, you know, it's half of my life, because it's more than half of my life. I'm 55 years old now. I came to Kuwait, or I start my job career at 25. That's mean 30 years here in Kuwait in my job career. When I seek a job to be in my specialist as an artist and designer. So I found there in Fairground at that time. And then when I came back after the invasion, I worked with Kuwait Times. And then from Kuwait Times, I jump a little bit for the two places, which is one, it was in Al Yusufi company as a creative director, and then to Al Watan newspaper. In that time, in Al Watan newspaper, I worked as an art director and also as a journalist in that time, because I'm also a writer.
An art director typically oversees the work of other designers and artists who produce images for television, film, live performances, advertisements, or video games. They determine the overall style or tones desired for each project and articulate their vision to artists who submit images such as illustrations, graphics, photographs, charts, and graphs. An art director will work with the art and design staff in advertising agencies, public relation firms, books, magazines, or newspaper publishers to create designs and layouts. Their work to understand the design elements of projects, inspire other creative workers, and keep projects on budget and on time.
I was working as an artist and then as a graphic designer. I think I'm one of the pioneers to work with the computer graphic, which is when the Apple start and Adobe start with Photoshop, for example. I was working in Photoshop 1.5, and now Photoshop is almost 17, which is already, I'm one of the pioneers here in Kuwait. When I came, so many places they said we need this guy, because actually he's a specialist in that field and nobody in that field in this time. And also I'm a photographer, so I'm dividing my time into three categories, which is, if I feel inspired, I'll go to the art. If I'm in work and duty, so I have to work with the graphic designs, and this is my job career. And the third one is photography, which is already, I travel so many countries all over the world, and I make already 3 books about my photography, and I have also my website on the internet, and I'm one of the members of Nikonese International and also 500px.
It's important for art directors to work across departments. They work with the relevant teams about any visual or computer-generated effects that may be required. Most art directors have degrees from art schools where they've studied graphic design, photography, and drawing. A background in graphic design is essential for most art director jobs today. Magazine art directors decide what image to put on publication covers and how to arrange the articles on a page. They are also responsible for creating and maintaining an overall visual style throughout the publication. To do this, they help figure out the best way to represent different concepts visually and work closely with graphic designers and other creative workers as they develop page layouts and images.
Stress, it comes for the artists every minute, not comes every day or every week, every minute. Because when you challenge yourself, you challenge actually your talent, you challenge your mind, you challenge your what's called actual world. And you need always to go out of that circle. So I'm always go first for go to my painting, for example. But if I'm not inspired to my painting, so I'm preparing myself to travel, especially if I travel to Asian countries, because it has a lot of the mountains, gardens, trees, nature, landscapes. This is inspiring me to give me an idea to refresh my mind to work more and more, and also for my photography, it's give me a more inspiration.
Magazine art directors also have administrative duties, including managing budgets and coordinating deadlines. Their work is often approved by the magazine's editors prior to the publication. Art directors oversee the artistic design of advertisements. Art directors oversee the artistic design of advertisements and print materials, as well as the filming of television commercials. They are the decision makers who are responsible for the quality of the finished products. The art director chooses a photographer, an illustrator, models, and any props necessary for an ad. If a print ad comes back from the printer with an imperfection, the art director is responsible for retouching it.
Definitely. You know, I think Kuwait here, it has a heritage. Arabian heritage, it's not counted by years. It's counted by habits, counted by behaviors. And already when I came to Kuwait, some people, they said, there's no, for example, I'm not talking about the history. I'm talking about the, they said, some countries it has a monuments, it has some of the temples, statues, like in Egypt, for example. But here in Kuwait, I find the people themselves, they are mixed the culture. Especially the family way here in Kuwait makes the culture. What's called it also, you know, the very good way when you go to the one of the Diwaniyah or one of the Kuwaiti houses, you will find all the things what you need inside that house. I'm always, when I go to Egypt, I told them, when you are hungry, for example, if you knock the door to Kuwaitis, you will find the food. Nobody will ask you who you are. And also what's called karam. And also you find a heritage of Kuwait is Arabian heritage, is Islamic heritage. And also the habits of Kuwaitis, especially the old Kuwaitis, it's, you know, it's still give them the prosperity, give them the to be unique all over the Gulf countries. I travel to most of the Gulf countries. I travel to Saudi Arabia, to Emirates, to Qatar, to Bahrain. But Kuwait here still, it has identity, which is already, you will not find it all over the world. And Kuwaiti people, especially the Kuwaiti smile. yeah, definitely, yes.
In advertising, the art director is not only responsible for the look of an ad, but is also part of a creative team responsible for developing the very concept. An art director and a copywriter may decide on an advertising concept together. Then they determine how the ad will look and what it will say. To create a print ad, one that appears in a magazine or a newspaper or a billboard, the art director creates a rough layout using a computer. The layout shows where the copy will go, which fonts and colors will be used, and what the picture will look like. At this stage, the layout must be approved by the client.
In my work in Kuwait Times, for example, I'm working as a creative director, and also I was the ex-art director of the daily paper, which is already takes a lot of time because every day you are working in the same ingredients, same recipe, which is the paper. It's already makes you like a robot. It's something you have to create, but it's in 4 or 3 or 5 pages you can work with that creativity. But the rest of the pages you have to work as it is: columns, photos, stories. When I held the advertising department, this is a big challenge, and always I say to my colleagues, let me call them my colleagues because most of them they are my sons. I told them, if you give the work from your heart, the work will give you the success. And also, if you give the work more professionality, tomorrow in the morning when you see your work in the paper or the advertising, you will get the prosperity, you will get the success from them. And even the people, when they call you, they said, this is your work? Yes, this is my work. You have to be proud for this. Actually, this is one of my paintings. I used recycling wood, which is, everybody already threw it or destroy it already. I use it as a painting board for me. And I use one of the Islamic verses as a background of my work. And also I use the oil painting plus gold leaves, and here I put Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim and some of the Islamic ornaments. Actually, when you make something to inspire the people with the Islamic traditions, it has to be a little bit quiet, little bit inspire with the our religion is give you the spirit. They give you something, it's like a patience. And when I use the colors here, I use it between the green and deep green actually, and also brown, and I mix them to each other to make something like, when you see the sea waves, when you see the landscapes, you will never see it as a one color. You will see it like a mixing color between color and many different graduation of this color, or with the other colors. Here also I use the what's called it planet ornaments, because the Islamic way of the painting is completely different than European style, which is, they said it's prohibited to use faces, it's prohibited to use some of the animals. So I use that ornaments, which is already, it's a planet, it's leaves, but actually with the Islamic way, it has to be something like ornaments, turning to what's called it, symbolize the planets and the roses.
Once a rough layout for an ad is approved, the art director uses all the resources of the agency to produce the finished ad. Work begins in a large open work area known as the bullpen, where the art director supervises a team of artists who work up the rough layout of an ad, refine it, and put it together on the computer. Assistants scale photographs and illustrations to the proper size and decide on the typeface. They run the copy and the photographs through the computer programs to create the pages as they will appear in print.
See, I participate in 2 or 3 galleries in Egypt, and also the first gallery in my life, I was a student, still student in the 3rd year of my faculty. that one, when I saw, I see the painting, what I did, I said, oh, what a shame. Because, you know, it has no experience, but still I like it because it's actually like, you know, like a kid when he starts with the pencil for me. But then I do so many painting work, but already I not contribute with the galleries. Till I think 2 years ago, I start to apply. I start to join and participate with some galleries. 2 of them, I think, it's the most biggest one. One of it was in the Museum of Modern Art in Kuwait, and it's called مصري, and I was participate with 3 paintings. And those 3 paintings, I'm sorry, it was talking about what's happened in Egypt in 2011. And then I participate in from 1.5 months in Bushehr Gallery. It was also for the Egyptian artists. We were over 25 artists. And I already participate with 5 paintings. It was a different paintings. 2 of them is talking about the woman, and 3 of them is talking about Egypt and life in Egypt. I'm always interested to make something like, you know, let's call it not pop art, but I'm always going to the our native work. I'm very worried now. I'm very worried about the painting art, because most of the artists now is not upgrading themselves. Because what's happened in the world now, people, it's going to the social media and going to the photography through Instagram, for example. So because of that, I upgrade my work to be a digital and analog, which is already, I'm drawing in my tablet or my computer, and then print out on the canvas, and then start to mixture the colors or the some materials like gold leaves on my painting, and already I put it in the gallery. Yes.
Art directors employed by publishers and advertising agencies work under constant pressure. There are always deadlines to meet, layouts to deliver to the printer, or commercials that must be taped as soon as possible. To get a magazine out on time, art directors must put pressure on the artists who work for them to finish their work on schedule. As art directors become more senior, they work on bigger and more important briefs within the agencies. They are often referred to as middleweight or heavyweight creatives. Others may choose to use their skills independently as freelancers, working across a number of agencies and clients.
First time when I came to Kuwait, you know, in Egypt in that time, the first visit to me to Kuwait, it was 1984, and first impression, it was in July, And he said it's a hot weather, and said it's easy. We can make by paper some fan, or I can walk in the street, so I can put myself under the shade of the trees. Yeah. And that time when I get out of the plane, aircraft itself, I get choked. What? This is maybe the heat. It comes from jet. They said no. This comes from the sun. And I remember it's a big joke when I said, can you give me some tea? They said no. Just open the tap and take the water and put the tea bag. But the first impression it was for Kuwait. Kuwait it was, and still I think, but it was before invasion like European countries. If you see the streets, people, shops in the street, I still remember Fahd Salim Street in Salmiya itself. You can see the street looks like you are walking in Piccadilly. Shops, bookshops, clothes, eyewear, even the CDs. The first time in my life to see the CDs, I saw it here in Kuwait. I was very interested in the music also. So first time in my life to see the CDs, I went to. They said someone sell it in Salhiya complex. Salhiya complex, it was the avenues of Kuwait before invasion. Yes, really. So I went there, and it was an Indian guy. He said to me, yes, you can find the CDs. I said, what's the CDs? He said, those the CDs. And because I'm using the vinyl one. So I saw the CDs. Oh, wow, this is the mirror for me, And when I bought it, I bought the CDs, so I want to put it in my turntable. I'm ignoring what I can do with this one. So I bought one of the hi-fis in that time with the CD player. And also when I was walking in the street here in Kuwait, the fashion, it was for example, in France, and in the same time it was in Kuwait. Perfumes, it was launching in France, next day it was here in Kuwait. Not like now. I'm sorry to say that, but before invasion, Kuwait, it was the birth of Gulf. Now they said Dubai, for example. They said Dubai. But for me, still, my eyes and my mind still remember Kuwait. It was more progress than Dubai now.
Director's relationship with photographers is vital to the outcome of the project because they are creative persons and like to give their own input. Art directing is an occupational title used in different sectors, including advertising, marketing, film and TV production, and in publishing companies. They are concerned with the impact of design to a given project, giving due attention to images, graphics, movement, and style flourishes. Art directors focus on communicating a unified vision of the brand or project using various design elements to convey a solid message. They make the final decision on art-related concerns, and they have a lead role in brainstorming and getting the team and other departments to contribute and collaborate on the project.
What I love in my job, I love the challenge, daily challenge. I love also to create day by day. And maybe because of that, if you show me my work next day, I say, no, it's so bad, so I have to change it. This is my challenge always. And I love also to see the people which is already admired for my work, or to say, this is good work, or you gain a success. It's non-price money. It's priceless. For me, it's a priceless. Always you have to go to the new ideas, to the new concept. And also you have some tools. The tools is painting, photography, for example, drawing. You have to use all of the tools for this this design, for example, or for the concept. If you use these tools in the concept, I think you will might be a very unique in your work, because you know now our job, for example, especially here in Kuwait, most of the people now they said, we took a course for graphic designs, especially the softwares, and they said we are designers. It's not the matter how to collect the photo and to put the text, and that's all. The matter of how to create a new ideas, how to challenge yourself first of all, and then challenge the competitors, and then you send the message for the people.
In movie and TV production, the director of art plays a collaborative role along with other creative teams in set design, makeup and costume choices. In advertising, marketing and public relations, art directors play key roles in visualizing the desired message for the target audience and creating the appropriate visuals to convey the intent of the message. This is also a function with graphic designers, copywriters, and account managers contributing their input. This is a challenging job that requires academic preparation and a history of progressive work experience with supervisory functions. We came to the end of our episode. Thanks for watching and have a good night.